Friends, greetings to you all. This is the commander of the ADA group, Akhmat Special Forces. Lately, I haven't been in touch very often. We have a tough sector, the Sumy region. We're creating a buffer zone by order of the Supreme Commander-in-Chief. But now I can no longer stand aside. I found the time, so I'm recording this video. I'm recording it because, honestly, I'm disappointed. Why am I disappointed? You all already know about the situation with this Luhansk pool, with this assault trooper from the ROTV, the Luhansk Motorized Rifle Brigade, who, having no connection to our unit, was presenting himself as a fighter of the Akhmat Special Forces. I've known Max Divnich for several months now, since the height of the Kursk battle. I subscribed to his channel. He wrote to me himself, like, what do I owe the pleasure? Well, you don't owe me anything. We just chatted, got acquainted, and occasionally messaged each other. As you can see, I'm a reasonable person. He also seemed like a reasonable person to me. That's exactly why, when yesterday or maybe the day before, I can't remember, Max posted that video with the caption. An Akhmat Special Forces fighter, drunk, storming the Luhansk pool. What will Apti Alaudinov say about this? The first thing I did was look up this fighter. He's not one of ours, just as I initially thought. Honestly, I actually thought he was a civilian. But it turned out he's a serviceman from the National Guard. So all questions should be addressed to the brigade command. Why is there a National Guard guy, possibly under the influence? I haven't seen the material, the examination, or anything else wandering around Luhansk instead of being at the front line. But that's not the point. I wrote to Max saying that, Max, this is not our fighter. He has nothing to do with us. But he doesn't care. It's such an insult to our unit that he writes, our fighter was bothering someone somewhere, pestering someone, not at the front line. To which they replied to me, well then, you should ask him, why is he presenting himself as one of you? You know, if he had introduced himself as a FSB officer, it's unlikely anyone would have written. And what would Bortnikov say about this, right? Well, no one would have written that. But since it's Akhmat, he introduced himself, now you can write anything. Well, he wrote it, so he wrote it, didn't check. So, you made a mistake. A real man, for his mistake, for insulting the unit, because he really did, well, it was an insult, that kind of post, saying that our fighters drunkenly harass women in the pool. I took that as an insult. In order not to escalate this conflict, to prevent it from turning into a real conflict, what do? I call Apti Alaudinov. I say, respected Apti Aronovich, Comrade General, I know Max, he seems like a reasonable guy. Let's have you talk to him in person. He'll ask you whatever he wants to ask. He wrote what he would say to Apti Aronovich. Here's your chance. Go and ask your question to his face. Apti Aronovich listened to me, agreed to meet me halfway, and said, all right, tell him I'll come by, let's meet. Max wasn't able to meet. In the end, I gave Apti Aronovich his number. They talked on the phone. It seems they cleared everything up, that this wasn't our fighter, and that Apti Aronovich, being a general in the Russian army and a Chechen by nationality, can't be responsible for every Chechen in the Russian Federation, especially not for other units. Apparently, yes. Max agreed with him, saying, yes indeed, you can't. As a man, I see nothing shameful in apologizing to the unit, saying, yes guys, I apologize, he's not your fighter, there was a mistake. From now on, there's direct contact with General Alaudinov, and we'll resolve all questions together. But pride got in your way, Max. That's basically why I deleted your contact. Honestly, you really disappointed me, words can't express it, because I vouched for you to Apti Aronovich. I asked for this meeting, for this conversation, and I hope that would be the end of it. But no, you chose a different path. So I spoke with Apti, and it turned out he really isn't their fighter. We found mutual understanding there. Was it really that hard for you to apologize to the unit? Let me remind you, our unit is a frontline unit, all the detachments. During the Battle of Kursk, Akhmat Special Forces lost more than 1,500 people wounded and killed. Akhmat Chechnya, where all of you keep saying you can't find any Chechens, you keep writing, where are the Chechens? Akhmat Chechnya liberated the Kursk land at a tremendous cost. It is mostly made up of Chechens. And the guys fought heroically. Everyone noted this. They truly are heroes. But you only see what's convenient for you, and you only spread what's convenient for you. Let's then remember the 27th of October, 2023, the tragedy in Volnovakha. Back then, 2 soldiers entered a house, killed a sleeping family, and shot the children in the head. The first thing people wrote was, well, obviously it was the Ukrainians. Then it was people like you. They said it was Akhmat fighters. For several days, the story was spread. Akhmat fighters killed the family. Akhmat fighters were seen there. Then it turned out that it was 2 Russian guys. They were shown on television. That's it. Silence. I could give you many such examples, but you only take what you need. You only spread what suits you. Why is this especially unpleasant for me? Take my small unit, for example. There are literally just 200 of us. The 8 group. In my unit, I have people of all nationalities. Russians, Chechens, Mari, Ukrainians, everyone is there. The majority, 70%, are
from Chechnya.
As their commander, I am always with them on the front line. I lead them into attacks. I participated together with my unit in Operation Potok. I received 14 wounds during the special military operation. I don't even have enough space on my everyday tunic to mark all the wounds. And we fight not for awards, not for recognition, not for thanks. For Operation Potok, for example, I didn't receive any award, and I don't even need one. I'm not fighting for awards. I'm fighting for Russia, for the Russian people, just like the Akhmat Special Forces. And at the cost of our own lives, we were the first to arrive at the Kursk direction, driving out the enemy, staying surrounded like the Pitersky Battalion, which called artillery on themselves twice, like my fighters who were surrounded in Berden, repelling assaults, fighting off the attackees, are the heroic battles for Berden. Those 48 hours, when we were repelling mechanized assaults. When we arrived near Suja in the first days, destroying enemy equipment, not letting it pass. When we lost more than 1,500 men, shedding so much blood, I ask myself, who are our enemies? Where are they, over there or here? So our unit, which defends the interests of the Russian Federation at the cost of their lives and health, remaining loyal to their oath, can be dragged through the mud, can be insulted, and then they just say, go sort it out with some random guy? No, that won't fly. As a man, it's never shameful to apologize, but apparently pride wouldn't allow it. So honestly, I'm disappointed, because God knows I did everything I could to prevent this conflict. I asked Apti Alaudinov to talk with Max Divnich. I said that he seemed like a reasonable guy. You find some common ground. He'll apologize. He probably just didn't fully understand the situation. But I was wrong. And for my mistake, I can apologize to the general, and I do apologize, because I really thought the person would have the courage to admit his mistake and apologize. And as for this stirring up of interethnic conflict, as an example, I mentioned Volnovakha to you, and there are many other terrible situations, I don't even want to name them. They hardly ever stir things up there, because there are no Chechen units or Chechens present. If there were Chechens there, it would be all over the headlines, on all those kinds of sensational channels of ours. But since there are no Chechens there, no one talks about it, it's not interesting. Even the Volnovakha incident only started getting blown up because at first Chechens were blamed for it. And when it turned out there were no Chechens there, well, let's just forget about it. Then you wonder why you end up being carried out feet first somewhere. This is really stirring up interethnic tensions. That's exactly what you're doing. You could say something, but you don't even need to apologize, even when you're wrong. And honestly, I'm ashamed that I vouched for a person like that. Honestly, I'm ashamed that you don't have the courage to admit your mistake and apologize. Especially since we're not some rear unit, but a frontline unit that, without regard for our own lives, defends the Russian Federation. Akhmat is strength, Russia is power, and the enemy will be defeated.
Land is first, everyone! Golden